The European draws have been made and we have found out who Scottish teams will get in the next round of their respective competitions. Welcome back, guys, to Son of Scotland TV, and this is, in my opinion, one of the best times to be a Scottish football fan. It's the beginning of the season. All the Scottish teams are still in Europe. It's the only time all the Scottish teams are still in Europe. So enjoy it while it lasts, because there's a good possibility that at the end of August we'll be down to 3. But anyway, let's look at who Kilmarnock, St Mirren and of course Rangers are set to get. So up first we have Rangers. They will meet either Dynamo Kiev or Partizan Belgrade in the third qualifying round of the Champions League. So Kiev are playing Partizan Belgrade. The winner of that moves on to take on Rangers, and those legs would take place on the 6th or 7th of August, and then the return leg on the 13th of August. Now, obviously, Rangers will have to play their home game at Hampden. Not ideal, but still, I think Rangers were pretty fortunate with the draw, and I imagine that they should be good enough to beat Dynamo Kiev or Partizan Belgrade. But then again, what we've seen from Rangers over the past 3 to 4 months, hasn't been that good. So it's a favourable tie, but I'm not convinced Rangers win it. If they do win it, they go into the Champions League playoff round. If they do not win it, then they drop into the Europa League group stage. So, I mean, either way, Rangers will be playing European football. There's no option to drop into a Europa League playoff. It's straight into the group stage if they lose. And if they win and then lose in the next round, they still go into Europa League group stage. So no matter what happens, the likelihood is Rangers probably will be in the Europa League group stage, but they've got a chance if they can win 2 ties in a row in making the Champions League. And I do think this new format, it does kind of favour teams like Rangers, because in the past, it could be that if you lost 2 ties in a row, then you would maybe not get European football. But it seems that Rangers will definitely drop into the Europa League, whether they lose the third qualifying round or whether they lose the playoff. And to me, I don't know. I mean, there's not a lot of, where's the risk? Where's the? It just seems too safe. I think it's too safe for some teams now. And Rangers have 2 games, 2 ties that they can give it their all. They've got nothing to lose. Whether they lose in the first tie or second tie, they're going into Europa League group stage anyway. There's no consequence for losing early. And I don't know if I like that. I think that I think you should be able to drop down into all 3 competitions if you lose enough games. So anyway, let's look at Kilmarnock and St Mirren. So Norwegian opponents could await both Kilmarnock and St Mirren in the European competitions after the draws for the Europa and Conference League. Kilmarnock will meet Molde or Silkeborg of Denmark in the Europa League qualifying round, third round, if they get past Cercle Bruges. Should they lose to the Belgians, then Kilmarnock will drop into the Conference League third qualifying round, where they will take on whoever wins between Trosmo of Norway and Kups of Finland. In my opinion, pretty easy ties. I think the toughest tie that Kilmarnock will have is their current announced tie, the one that's already confirmed, Cercle Bruges. If they can beat them, then I think they've got a decent chance in the Europa League. But if they lose to them, then they've also got a really good chance in the Europa Conference League of making the playoffs. So, yeah, I think there's a good opportunity here. I think Kilmarnock can do this. On paper, I'd say they've got a decent chance. As for St Mirren, obviously we know they're taking on Iceland's Falur, and if they beat them, they will take on the winners of Brann from Norway, not Game of Thrones, and Go Ahead Eagles of the Netherlands. Now, if St Mirren lose against Falur, or if they lose after beating Falur in the next round against either Brann or Go Ahead Eagles, St Mirren are eliminated. There is no safety net for St Mirren, no matter how many games they win, no matter which round or which tie they get to. St Mirren, if they lose a tie before they get into the group stages, will not be in Europe, since they're starting in the lowest of the 3. So, just how it goes. Obviously, we want all 5 teams to be here. I think the likelihood is we will probably have to settle for 3. I do think Kilmarnock have a chance, and right now I'd say it's a decent chance, but we still don't know who they would get in the playoff of the Europa Conference League if they drop into that. So that's the only thing we need to worry about. As for St Mirren, I could see them winning both of these ties, but again, even if they win both of these ties, we don't know who they're getting in the playoffs, and the likelihood is St Mirren and Kilmarnock will be up against a good team, or at least a decent team in the playoffs, and it might take an almighty upset. So yeah, I've got faith that Kelly and St Mirren can get to the playoffs. I don't know how much faith I have that they can get past the playoffs, simply because we don't know who they're going to get, and it's going to be pretty impossible to, make a call until we find out the level of opposition, because there is levels in Europe, and, depending on the draw, you can have a decent chance, and you can have no chance, so we just have to wait and see. Anyway, guys, that's it. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think Kilmarnock and St Mirren will be in group stage football? And what level of football do you think the Scottish teams will be playing? Obviously, Celtic are in the Champions League. They're going to be in that. I'm going to make my predictions right here, right now. I think that Celtic will be in the Champions League. I think Rangers will be in the Europa League. I think Hearts will be in the Europa Conference League. And unfortunately, I believe that Kelly and St Mirren will not be in either group stage, but I do think they've got a decent chance. In the past, you don't really give much faith in the Scottish teams. I think they've got a chance, but I have to wait and see who they get first, because right now I've had to pick. I'd say no. So anyway, guys, that's it. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.